So this video is going to be about Damar Hamlin because recently he collapsed on the field. So this happened on live TV and it was very fake and scripted. So I'll show you guys the video of him falling right now. So the way he fell doesn't make sense. It was a regular tackle. These tackles happen all the time in football. And notice how he got up and he was perfectly fine. And then all of a sudden he falls.
Around him and let's hope that he's going to be okay.
It was a very scripted fall, but I'll talk about that situation more at the end of this video. First, I want to expose all of Damar Hamlin's characters. So the first character I want to talk about is Fetty Wap. As you guys can see, Damar Hamlin looks so much like Fetty Wap right here. They have the same nose and the same mouth. The only difference is the eye, because Fetty Wap is blind from one eye. But I'll talk about that more later on because that's very symbolic. You know, he's literally doing one eye symbolism 24/7. So here's some more side-by-side comparisons of Fetty Wap and Damar Hamlin. You know, these two characters look so much alike. And not only do they look so much alike, but they also have the same gematria, which confirms it even further. So his first name, Damar, equals 37 and 35, and Fetty Wap equals 37 and 35 as well. And Fetty Wap's real name is Willie Jr. Maxwell II. So Damar Hamlin equals 94, and Fetty Wap's full name equals 94. And right here, Damar Hamlin is doing one eye symbolism with the left eye, which is very ironic because Fetty Wap's left eye is always doing one eye symbolism. This one eye symbolism is known as all-seeing eye or the eye of providence, and the symbol is on the back of the dollar bill. So they're blatantly showing us about this symbol in plain sight, and that's why celebrities do it all the time. And this is a reference to the eye of Horus. So Fetty Wap's left eye is the eye that he's blind from, right? So if you notice, 9 times out of 10 when a celebrity is doing one eye symbolism, they're going to cover their right eye because they love referencing Horus. And I talked about Horus in my AndrewTate video, so make sure you guys go check that out. So if you look at Fetty Wap's album cover, he's covering the right eye, so he's only showing his left eye, which is the eye of Horus, and that's the same eye that he's blind from. So they do so many things to reference Horus, and with this album cover, he's basically putting it in plain sight that his entire character is doing one eye symbolism. And if you guys want a more detailed video about the all-seeing eye, go watch my video that I did about this when Lil Durk got injured from one eye. The link to this video is in the description below. So here's some more comparisons of Fetty Wap and Damar Hamlin because these two characters look so much alike, you know, especially right here. So this one is very easy to see. Now let's talk about the base character, which is the singer Houston, because as you guys can see, he looks identical to Fetty Wap. And this one is so obvious because they're both blind from their left eye. So they didn't try to hide this one at all. There's so much mockery with this one. It's literally in plain sight. And there's so many articles about it as well. And notice those articles are trying to debunk it, as they always do. But we all know the truth. Because these two characters look so much alike, it's not a coincidence. And on top of that, they're both blind from the same eye. So this is obviously not a coincidence. And here's some more comparisons of Houston and Fetty Wap. And Houston is a singer, and Fetty Wap is known as a rapper, but technically he's singing in his music, so that's another connection right there. But yeah, these two characters look identical, and they both have the same gematria as well. So Houston's real name is Houston Edward Summers IV. So notice how Houston's full name and Fetty Wap's full name have the same gematria. They both equal 265 and 112. So this one is very obvious. And the weird thing about this character, Houston went viral when he got arrested because of his one-eyed mugshot. And here's an article of TMZ that says, "I like that singer popped for DUI, the one-eyed mugshot." So they're literally doing the one-eye symbolism in plain sight. And the creepy thing about this character is the way that his eye got messed up. So listen to this. Singer Houston, who famously suffered an emotional breakdown in 2005, has gouged his own eye out with a fork and was arrested this week in LA for DUI. And of course, TMZ obtained his mugshot. For some reason, TMZ is always the first company to put out this information. Sometimes they get the news before anybody else. So obviously they're involved with the scripting of all these events. And this is how Fetty Wap lost his eye. So Fetty Wap said that he lost his eye after an accident. When he was little, he had gotten into a little accident and it gave him congenital glaucoma in both of his eyes. He said the doctor saved one of his eyes, so he was blessed to still have his vision. Of course, he's only going to save one eye because this whole character is scripted to be doing one eye symbolism 24/7. But anyways, the interesting thing about Houston, Fetty Wap, and Damar Hamlin is the fact that they all have a very serious injury in their career. You know, Houston took his own eye out with a fork. Fetty Wap lost his eye when he got into an accident, and for some reason he didn't describe the actual accident. But anyways, Damar Hamlin was injured recently for cardiac arrest. So this is a very interesting connection. The fact that all three of these characters have went through a big injury in their career and they all look alike. And the reason they have these injuries is to harvest your energy because a lot of people felt sad when Damar Hamlin collapsed during the game. So just keep in mind all of this is scripted and purposely done to harvest your energy. So don't be sad when these events happen. And I wouldn't even recommend watching sports in general because the entire thing is created to harvest energy. You know, all of these people give all of their energy to the team when they go watch these games. You know, people are constantly screaming when they go to these games. And even people that watch at home are betting with their friends and arguing. And betting in itself is a big energy harvest ritual because not only is it a sin, but gambling has to do with money. And money is a form of energy. So all of this is based upon energy. So keep that in mind. Another connection between Fetty Wap and the singer Houston is the fact that Fetty Wap had this big event where he performed with all of these big rappers at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. And his other character is literally named Houston. But one thing I want to point out about this cover is the fact that it says out of this world. And this is very symbolic because all celebrities are descendants of Lucifer, who is a fallen angel, and he fell from heaven into this world. So that's why all the celebrities want to get out of this world to get back to heaven. They're trying to trick God into getting back into heaven. And Hillary has mentioned this multiple times, how she wants to break the glass ceiling. And if I can find the clip, I'll play it for you guys right now.
Although we weren't able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks in it. And it may be hard to see tonight, but we are all standing under a glass ceiling right now. And the light is shining through like never before, filling us all with the hope and the sure knowledge. I can't believe we just put the biggest crack in that glass ceiling yet. Thanks to you, this is really your victory. This is really your night. I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now.
So yeah, it's pretty obvious that Houston is the base character for Fetty Wap and Damar Hamlin, but there's one more character, and his name is Bandhunta Izzy, and as you guys can see, he looks identical to Houston the singer, and they even have the same gematria, so Bandhunta equals 31, and Houston equals 31 in the same cipher. And then Bandhunta equals 158. And Houston Summers, which is his real name, equals 158 as well in the same cipher. And he also looks identical to Fetty Wap as well. And of course, these two characters also have the same gematria. Bandhunta Izzy's real name is Israel Jordan James. Notice how Israel James matches up to Houston and Fetty Wap's full name. They all share the number 112. So clearly all three of these characters are the same. The fact that all of their names literally equal the same number. And his middle name is Jordan. And notice how Fetty Wap and Jordan have the same gematria of 137 in the same ciphers. And then Fetty and Izzy both equal 22. And then Wap and Izzy both equal 13. So these two characters are heavily connected. And most people know that this is one of Fetty Wap's characters because people tell him all the time in the comments and he's always responding to it. Right here, he literally mentioned it in plain sight. He said he got a lazy eye off liquor and then he said start to see the Fetty Wap stuff. So he put it in plain sight multiple times. You know, right here, he even said he knows Fetty Wap is having a good old time with Alexis Sky. Another connection between these two characters is the fact that they're both friends with Gucci. So right here, Fetty Wap is with Gucci Mane. And right here, Bandhunta Izzy is also with him. So they're both connected to the same people. And if you guys are interested in my video about Gucci, I'll put a link in the description below. So now let's take a look at Damar Hamlin and Bandhunta Izzy, because these two characters look alike as well. So here's some really good comparisons. Both of these characters have the same eyes. And right here, Damar Hamlin is not only promoting money on his shirt, but he's also doing symbolism in plain sight. And of course, these two characters are connected in gematria as well. So Damar's full name is Damar Romiel Hamlin. And I've never heard of that middle name Romiel. But you guys are going to see why that's his middle name, because it's connected to so many things that I'll mention towards the end of this video that have to do with his collapse. And then Bandhunta Izzy's real name is Israel Jordan James. So Bandhunta's full name equals 66, and Damar's first and middle name equals 66 in the same cipher. And keep in mind, Bandhunta Izzy's middle name is Jordan, right? And Michael Jordan is number 23. And this is interesting because Damar Hamlin collapsed on the field at the start of 2023. And his other character is Bandhunta Izzy, whose middle name is Jordan. So there's a clear connection right there. And it's very interesting that they did this event on the second day of the year. So at the very beginning of the start of 2023, they did this ritual. But anyways, they're also connected with their first names. So Damar and Israel both equal 98. And this is kind of ironic because Damar Hamlin was born in 1998. So that shows that this character was completely scripted from the very beginning. So as you guys can see, Damar Hamlin was born in 1998. And Damar equals 98. And his other character, Bandhunta Izzy's first name, also equals 98. And Damar Hamlin plays for the Buffalo Bills. So it's very interesting that Buffalo matches up with Bandhunta Izzy. They both share the number 63. So another interesting connection is the fact that Bandhunta Izzy's birthday is December 30th, which means that Damar Hamlin collapsed exactly 3 days after his birthday. And notice how he's number 3. So do you guys really think that's a coincidence? He's literally number 3, and he collapses on the field 3 days after his other character's birthday. So that's clearly not a coincidence. And for some reason, a lot of football players like getting injured on this specific field. 4 of the scariest injuries in the NFL history all happened on the same field. Do you guys really think that's a coincidence? That means this stadium in particular is scripted for these injuries to happen. So here's pictures of the 4 times that people got injured on the same field. And when Damar Hamlin got injured, they all kneeled down and did this Freemason ritual, because Freemasons literally have a ritual called the Brethren Kneeling at Prayer around the grave of Hiram Abiff, the widow's son. So they have this ritual where they do this around somebody that died. So clearly this is exactly what they're doing right here, because Damar Hamlin actually died twice and he came back to life. But I'll talk about that later, because all of this is scripted. And notice how number 33, Neil, is the only player not kneeling in the picture. So they're putting this in plain sight that this is all a ritual, because Masonry equals 33, and they're doing a Masonic ritual by kneeling around this injured person. So this is all mockery. And then this guy is number 99, and 9 is the number of completion. So a lot of times they use the number 99 or 9 a lot when a character fakes their death. And then on top of that, there's another guy with the number 2, and this happened on the second day of the year. So they purposely put these characters with these certain numbers in this picture at this angle to put it right in our face that this is all a ritual. Because what are the chances that a character named Neil is the only player not kneeling in the picture, and he's number 33? And Hamlin equals 33, collapsed equals 33, passed away equals 33, secrecy is 33, and Masonry is also 33. And the reason why he's connected to passed away is because he literally passed away. Damar Hamlin's uncle says he died twice, but they were able to bring his heartbeat back. And notice how he used to be number 31, and now he's 3. So that's another 33, because 2 of his jerseys have the number 3. And notice how right here he's doing 33 with his fingers, which is symbolism that every single celebrity does. And then right here, these 2 players are doing 33 as well. And Damar Hamlin is doing the horns. And of course, Hamlin is connected to Masonry. They both equal 105 and 33. Now let's talk about how this entire situation is scripted because he collapsed due to cardiac arrest, right? So what are the chances that his full name, Damar Hamlin, equals 96 just like cardiac arrest? But it gets even deeper than that because his entire name, no matter how you word it, is scripted with cardiac arrest. So his first and middle name, Damar equals 231 in the same cipher as cardiac arrest. And then his middle name alone equals 133 and 43 in the same cipher as collapse. And this character collapsed on live TV. And like I said, his middle name is very weird. I've never heard of that name, and nobody spells it like that. So this is how you know they purposely spell their names weird so it can match up with certain words to script out their career. And I even looked up his middle name, and I couldn't find anybody else with that same name. But moving along, even his last name Hamlin equals 57 just like cardiac arrest. So his entire name is scripted with this event. And he was the 212th overall pick of the 2021 NFL Draft. And the upcoming Super Bowl is on February 12. And when you write that out, it's 2/12, which is 212. And he just so happened to be the 212 overall pick. So this is obviously an energy harvest ritual for the Super Bowl that's coming up next month. And even the Buffalo Bills are scripted with this date. So Damar Hamlin collapsed on January 2nd, 2023, which equals 117 and 45, just like Buffalo Bills in the same ciphers. And keep in mind his birthday is March 24th, and he's 24 years old right now at the time of his collapse. So clearly there's some scripting there. But anyways, he collapsed exactly 81 days before his upcoming birthday. And Bills equals 81, and ritual equals 81 in the same cipher. So obviously this is a Bills ritual. And notice how this character collapsed, right? So this is connected to the event that happened on September 11th where the buildings collapsed. And I can't say the word, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So they're connected because his birthday is March 24th, 1998, which was exactly 181 weeks before this event on September 11th. And Damar Hamlin collapsed equals 181. So both of those collapses were scripted together. Now let's talk about another character that's scripted with this whole event because the football player Uche Nwaneri faked his death on December 30th, 2022. And notice how at the bottom it says that he collapsed and died suddenly and unexpectedly on December 30th, and he was 38. So what are the chances that 3 days before Damar Hamlin's collapse, this other football player collapses and dies on December 30th, which is also Bandhunta Izzy's birthday. And Bandhunta Izzy is obviously Damar Hamlin's other character. So again, do you guys think this is all a coincidence? And another interesting connection is that both of their birthdays are in March. So his is on March 20th and Damar's is on March 24th. So their birthdays are only 4 days apart. And notice how he was born in 1984. And I forgot to add this in here, but Masonry equals 84. And notice how this character died exactly 81 days before his birthday, just like how Damar Hamlin's collapse happened 81 days before his birthday. And Bills equals 81, just like Ritual. So clearly this character's death is heavily connected to Damar Hamlin, and he died at 38. And notice how TMZ put out this article on January 2nd, which is the same day that Damar Hamlin collapsed. So don't you guys find that weird? Why would they put out this article the day that Damar Hamlin collapses instead of the actual day where he died, which was December 30th? You know, they specifically waited for January 2nd because they knew that Damar Hamlin was going to collapse on that day and that these two characters were going to be scripted. So he dies at 38, death equals 38, and Damar Hamlin collapsed. Collapse equals 83, which is 38 reversed. And Damar Hamlin's birthday is on March 24th, which is the 83rd day of the year. And his other character, Houston, was born in 1983. And as you guys know, murder equals 83. And in case you guys didn't know, Fetty Wap loves the number 1738. And he even has a song called 1738. You know, he says that in every single song at the very beginning. And kill equals 17 and death equals 38. So this entire number is scripted with death. And now we can see why, because his other character died twice but came back to life somehow. But I wouldn't be surprised if another one of these characters ends up faking their death, especially Fetty Wap, considering that he's a rapper. So now let's prove even further that this was a big energy harvest ritual. So when this happened, I looked on Twitter and noticed how 305,000 people made tweets with the words praying for Hamlin. So why are people praying for a person that they do not know that is faking this entire injury to harvest your energy? You know, people are literally giving them free energy by praying for them. You should never pray for celebrities because that's exactly what they want. There's so many celebrities that love saying pray for me and stuff like that. Like Justin Bieber, for example, when he got injured, ironically for his eye as well. And then notice how there was 170,000 tweets that had the word canceled in it because apparently people wanted them to cancel the game, which is very weird because they never cancel the game when a player gets injured. So they purposely canceled it to make it an even bigger event to harvest even more energy. And then the next day, there was 317,000 tweets. So clearly there's a lot of people that believe that this was real. And it just blows my mind that there's so many people that think this is actually real. You shouldn't believe anything you see on TV, especially if it's put out from the mainstream media. It should all be questioned. But for some reason, people don't question anything. And they just start praying for a random person they don't know. And right here, 14,000 people tweeted hashtag prayers for Damar. So clearly this was a huge energy harvest ritual. And as you guys can see, Damar Hamlin equals 68, just like energy harvest. And on top of that, his two other characters, Houston and Fetty Wap's full names, also match up with energy harvest ritual. They all equal 265 and 112. And of course, Buffalo Bills equals 45, just like ritual. So now I want to show you guys this video of Damar Hamlin doing predictive programming in this interview, because he's talking about prayers and how he doesn't know when it's going to be his last day. This interview resurfaced after he collapsed, and he purposely said this in the interview so that after he collapses, everyone can post it and start praying for him. And then I'll show you guys some videos that prove the NFL is rigged. And if you guys want more information about that, I recommend watching the video that I made about Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo and the World Cup, because I showed more proof that all sports are rigged with black magic and rituals. So I'll put a link to this video in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to drop a like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications, follow me on Instagram, and subscribe to my Patreon. The links are in the description below.
Having someone like Dane just being able to just play with me, it feels so surreal. Like, I can't even describe it, but I cherish it every second that I can, you know, every second of every day. We just had our prayer, our DB prayer we do every Wednesday. Outside, he was next to me, and I just grabbed his hand a little bit harder just because, you know, you never know when, like, the last day could be that you getting to experience something like this, you know. So I'm cherishing it every moment I can. And he
Ryan Day's had all night was flawless, but really disagree with the approach for those final three offensive snaps.
It all comes down to this. It all comes down to congrats to Noah Rutter, the kicker for Ohio State. Arnold snaps. Jesse Murko puts it to hold. A 15-yarder to take the lead. 8 seconds left. Snap, hold, kick, ripping, and it is no good. It is no good. And you can hear the roar of the Bulldog fans here in Atlanta. C.J. Stroud put his team in position in what was a clash of quarterback titans. When you look at this stat line between C.J. Stroud and Stetson Bennett, you see two players who played at their absolute best tonight.
Take a knee and let's go to LA. And all of a sudden, something Hamlin moves it left.